down to laying on our back. Let's scoot the bolster under our knees. That'll give us just that little bit of extra comfort for the low back. So then feel the heart relax open. Feel the breath start to flow. It's a good comfortable spot. Breath easing in and out. There will be different points in class today. This will be kind of the majority of our focus, where we take an internal dive. So sometimes we'll be doing that by touching our fingers to our heart space. Other times it'll be by taking forward fold types of movements. And so each time we're in those forward types of positions, it's almost like we're the bear hibernating in the cave. It's that cold, dark winter time. So in that cave within, imagine that's a place where we can kind of meet the highest version of ourselves. We can breathe, we can relax, and we can start to ask that highest version of ourselves some deep intuitive questions for our future, especially with our New Year's coming up very quickly. Just imagine you're asking your heart space, what is it that I can do with this energy I have over this next year? We're super blessed with time, with space, with energy. And so what is it that I can do over this next year to really have a good use of that energy that I have? Maybe it's habits that we can pick up. Maybe it's things that we stop doing or things that we start doing. It doesn't have to be the biggest step, because sometimes those big steps are those New Year's resolutions that barely last maybe 2 weeks. So instead, think of something that's significant for you, just a little baby step even, that will help lead us to a very awesome, significant new year, new use of our time. So that's the idea that will lead us into our practice today, that diving within. And so to start tuning into that heart space already, what we're going to do here to begin is touching our heart space with our fingers. That's our exhale. And with our inhale, just open the arms back out to each side. Take another 4 of those breaths. Exhale, tap the heart space. Inhale, open out wide arms. Another 3. 2. And 1. Good. Right knee will start to come into the chest. This can be rocking with the right knee, or it can be just simply hugging it. Whatever feels best for that hip area for a couple of breaths. Allow right leg to stretch up to sky, moving into hamstring. You could allow foot circles. You could just work on lengthening through the hamstrings. It's up to you. You're placing the right ankle on the left thigh. It'll be a figure 4 stretch. With the bolster, you could just leave that left foot planted and press the right knee open, or you could take the full hug for figure 4. It's up to you, whatever feels most gentle, most kind, most like we're diving into that cave for the right hip. As we start to uncross from this figure 4, let both legs go up to sky, both legs open out wide, hands come to inner thighs, just resting the weight of the legs open. And legs come back together, softly lower back down to start, resting on that bolster. A moment to tap hands to the heart. A moment to open arms back out. And then left knee comes into chest, give it a hug. You can be rocking or in stillness. Leg can extend up to sky. Hamstring focus for a moment. Figure 4 on this side, left ankle to right thigh. It can be the hugging version. It can be the foot resting on the bolster version. You choose. One more huge breath flows in. Nice soft exhale. And then as we uncross, we can scoot the bolster off to the left side. Release the left leg long on ground. Hands hug this right knee back in. Then this right knee starts to head over to a twist. I personally love to send the knee onto the bolster. That's a very comforting low back twist for me. But if you prefer to scoot the bolster even further away, that's fine. Spread the right arm out wide to right. And maybe take a cycle or two, allowing us to start tapping into the neck. We'll gaze over the right shoulder as far as we can. Gaze over the left shoulder. If you like that motion for the neck, rocking both directions a few times, that's okay. Otherwise, maybe just stay gazing over right. Return the right hip to floor, slide the right leg long. Second side, if you use the bolster, switch it over. And then hug left knee in. Start to let the knee cross over the body, maybe to rest on bolster, maybe to hover above ground. Left arm opens out to left. Starting to tap into the neck here. At least take one cycle gazing over left. Gazing over right. You can keep on rocking back and forth or stay with the gaze over left. Returning hip to ground. Slide that leg along. We'll take one more stretch on our back. That's the banana stretch. So right ankle over left, leg scoot to the left. Up above head, grab right wrist, and then scoot the shoulders off to the left. That banana opening shape for the heart. Opening up the right half. Good. Uncross, return to the center of mat, and then take it to the second side. Left ankle over, legs to right. Grab left wrist, scoot the shoulders to right. One more huge breath in and out. Uncross. And then one last time here, tap the heart, spread the arms open, and make our way up to a comfortable seated place, however you'd like to get there. When you're up, we'll be in cobbler's pose. You could sit on bolster if you like. You could leave hands behind you, letting the heart open, hips relax, or you could always tilt forward. Any of those options are up to you, whatever feels best. Give it some time imagining this is us diving into that heart space, that cave. Oftentimes we think of caves as these scary places, but imagine it's only a cave because we haven't necessarily given our highest version of ourselves the opportunity to shine as much as it could. We kind of hid it away, and so now we're ready to meet it. We're ready to learn from it. More deep breaths to dive within. And then as we stack the spine upright, if it's comfortable to leave the legs in this shape, you can. Otherwise, you can switch to easy cross leg. With a hand on each knee or ankle, allow the spine to stack up really tall. And we're dropping the right ear over the right shoulder. I'll usually give a little bit of attention to left shoulder, trying to drop it down and away just a little bit. So from here, let the head tilt slightly behind the shoulder, the jaw rotates up. And take the ear back equal over the shoulder. As the head goes slightly in front of shoulder, turn the nose down. Start to roll the chin all the way down to the center of the chest, head heavy. And floats back up for second side. Drop the left ear over left shoulder. Go slightly behind shoulder, jaw rotates up. You're back to equal over shoulder. Head slightly in front of shoulder, nose turns down. And roll the chin down to chest. As head returns back up, let the legs cross. We're coming up and over onto hands and knees. Whenever we get there, sooner or later, start to ease the spine into our cat-cow shape. Doesn't have to be any sense of rush, just flow with the breath. Spine rounding up, belly dropping down. Two more full cycles, however fast or slow you're going. Good, as spine comes back to neutral, we'll either take a cobra pose or a sphinx pose. You choose for this first back bend. Scoot the hands forward, come into that back bend shape. And from the back bend, take a moment to gaze over right shoulder. Gaze over left shoulder. Coming back through center, take a moment to drop chin to chest. Nice and soft, diving into that cave. Good, and heading back, child's pose. The arms could be extended forward or tucked back, your preference. Moving into that heart space, still asking for that deep internal wisdom. Another huge breath cycle in, out. An easy rise up, all the way to a high kneeling position. From here, we wind right elbow under left. Elbows start to lift up to sky. Feel the heart space rise open. And sit any amount of the hips back to the heels. So let the elbows come into belly. As we round through the upper back, we can feel space in between shoulder blade area. Back up to high kneeling, circle the arms open, all the way, huge circle. And then left elbow under. Eagle's wrap, elbows lift up. Modified version of camel. Good, set the hips any amount back, elbows into belly, but space in between shoulder blades. And rising up or not, circle the arms back open. Good. Drop down onto hands and knees. The right knee will open out to the space floating off to this right side. That knee will trace 3 circles to each direction. Choose the first direction. Knee traces 3, 2, 1. Reverse. 3, 2, 1. And we're stepping that right foot to the outside of right hand. Once it's there, sink the hips forward. You can stay on hands, you can lower to elbows. It's whatever feels good. It's a lizard variation. So let's diving deep back into that heart space. We drop down to hands, to elbows, come back to hands. Shift the hips back over the back knee. This right foot is still kind of touching the edge of the mat, but we straighten it out. So the hands can both be on the center still, and then round back down into that cave space. Allowing the hamstring, those back of leg muscles to start lengthening a bit more. Slide this right foot on the ground directly to the right side of us and lower back down to elbows. So diving deeper again within into that cave. A good opportunity, if you haven't had a chance to think of any goals, perhaps to really use these internal moments to dive deep. What is important to me and my energy at this moment? So coming back up onto hands, the right knee drops to floor. The left knee is going to trace those 3 circles. So when you're ready, take the first one. Here's 3, 2, 1, and reverse. 3, 2, 1. Left foot steps to the outside of left hand. Shift hips to sink forward. Stay on hands or lower to elbows, your preference. Sometimes asking about this energy has to do with kind of the vibration of how things feel for us. So I know a lot of my work, my efforts are to try to be in higher vibration things more of the time. And it's funny how when you're trying to be in a high vibration, sometimes our old habits will try to kind of bring us back down to numbness, to just a low vibration. And sometimes that's what it's like for me currently watching movies. It's like all I'm doing is just kind of just sitting here to not have to be at such a high energy state. And so notice if there's anything like that for you, anything that, like there's no reason necessarily to do it, it doesn't help anything with your goals. You just kind of do it because. Go ahead and come back to hands if you weren't there. Shift this leg straighter and release the heart down. Good. Leg slides all the way to that left side, lower down to elbows. Just a couple more breaths right here. Okay, planting hands, we rise back up, lower the knee down briefly, and we're preparing to stretch our legs up in downward facing dog. So spread the fingers wide, tuck the toes, so those hips have a chance to lift, clear up to sky. Little wiggles are welcome. We'll lift the right leg up to sky. Bend the knee, sending the toes behind you. That helps open up the hip just a bit. Good. Replace right foot on ground. Take it to left side, lift leg up, bend the knee, send the toes behind. And foot back to floor. Working our way up to top of mat, forward fold. Allow hands to walk a little bit off to the right side. And a little bit off to the left side. Back through the center. Next inhale to rise. Circle arms clear up to sky, and then find the hands joining in front of heart. Good. Leave the left hand at the heart. The right hand circles up to the sky, and we lean over to that left side. Good. Rising back up, right hand is at the heart. Left hand up to lean over. Coming back up. Both hands at heart for a moment. The feet are right underneath our hips. We'll float our right knee up in front of us. If this is enough balance, stay. If you'd like a twist, take left hand to that right knee. As right hand opens up behind, there's an opportunity for a little bit of a neck stretch as we try to gaze to the back, but only if that doesn't affect balance too bad. Good. Try to return back. And kick warrior 3. Soft land into warrior 1. Hands clasped behind the back. We bow forward into shoulder stretch. Heart going right into that cave space. Good. Hands start to return down to hips. As we release the clasp, circle the arms forward and up. Warrior 1. Nice inhale. Exhale, open up warrior 2. And triangle pose, front leg straightens. Left hand reaches forward, drop hand to shin. Right goes up to sky for a moment so we can feel our back muscles and our shoulders stacking. But then perhaps that right hand just comes down to tap the heart. Feeling ourselves continuously returning back heart to heart over and over and over again. Good, so right arm can extend back up, torso can rise. Soft bend from the front knee as we shift back from warrior 2 to warrior 1. And we're going to transition to pyramid pose here. So front leg straightens. If you know that you're going to be reaching hands to floor, perhaps hands come to hips. If you'd like to keep the heart space a little more open, maybe you're grabbing elbows behind your back. But either way, keeping hips squared forward, front leg straightening. Kind of let yourself bend at the waist and release forward. Soft bend to the front knee, round the spine back up. As we step our right foot back forward, we're taking it into fierce pose. Set the hips back, arms by the ears for a moment. Take hands to the heart. And then hands down to the thighs. 3 times here, like a cat-cow, round the spine back. And then heart forward and through. 2. And 1. Good. Circle arms up to sky, little back bend. Hands back down to heart. Good. Start to float the left knee up. Sometimes this is where we stay. If you'd like to try for the twist, right hand can go to that left knee. Left arm opens up behind, maybe the gaze, if that doesn't affect balance too much. If you're doing that, it's for the neck. So really feel that neck rotate. Good. Turn gaze forward. Kick back, warrior 3. Soft land, warrior 1. Clasp hands behind back. Bowing shoulders into the stretch. Diving into that heart space cave. Bring hands to hips, release clasp. Circle up to sky, inhale. Exhale, warrior 2. Straighten front leg. Reach right hand forward to drop it to shin. Left stacks up to sky. Feel the back muscles getting in place. And perhaps left hand taps to heart. Reminding ourselves to return there over and over and over again. Arm extends back up. Torso rises. Soften front knee as we transition back to warrior 1. And re-straighten the leg. Maybe hands to hips if arms are going to be reaching forward, or maybe grab elbows behind our back. Pyramid. Softening of the knee, torso rises. Stepping left foot forward to fierce pose. Arms sweep by ears first. And then hands to heart. This time we'll take a twist. So right wrist hooks to left thigh or go to right elbow, your choice. The rest of the spine is trying to spiral open. Good. Back to heart for a moment. And left wrist hooks or elbow. and heart. As the legs straighten, circle arms to sky, little back bend. Hands back down to heart one more time. And then slide the bolster right behind you. We're gonna sit in Malasana, a more restorative version. As we sit, the feet go about as wide as mat, sometimes even wider with this version. Elbows push into the knees. Gonna lengthen the spine up. Lower the chin down to chest. And slowly take the journey, rolling the head so that right ear works its way over right shoulder. Work that journey back down to center. Left ear, working its way to left shoulder. And back to center. It slowly rolls back up. Keep the left leg as it is, the right extends straight to that long angle. So left hand pushes the left knee open. The torso turns to rotate to the straight right leg, and then just lean forward to that right leg. Multiple things opening up at the same time. We've got the hip, the spinal rotation, and the hamstring. All sorts of goodies. Spine rises back up. Scoop up that right knee to slide the foot in and switch it out to left. So left hand pushes into that left leg. Rotate spine and lean. Good inhale, a nice exhale, easy rise up, scoop the leg back in, another moment to be right here in the center, spine tall, good, and then letting the legs slide into cross leg, roll up and over, scoot the bolster off the side, take a moment with puppy. So hips over knees, let the arms stretch forward, heart trying to arch down. Walk the hands back in. Take a moment with cat, rounding spine up to sky. Good. Spine to neutral. Set the hips back to feet, but then slip the hips off to the left. So feet are tucked to right. Grab right hand to right ankle, left hand reaches up and over. The right ear drops to right shoulder. And then the left hand starts to hover, returning back right above ground. That pulls the shoulder nice and long. Good, head nice and easy back up. Switch the hips over to the other side. And grabbing left hand to left ankle, right hand up and over. Left ear drops down. Let the hand hover, ear over shoulder. head back up. Okay, send the arms back forward and through, downward facing dog. Right leg floats up to sky. Do the same thing, bend the knees and the toes behind you. And this time, when we send that bent knee forward and through, we're taking it into pigeon pose. So you could choose if you want bolster under the hip, or sometimes it's nice placing bolster under the elbows. So whatever version of this pigeon pose you'd like to take, go ahead and explore it for a couple of breaths. Okay, as we come back up to hands, purposely rock your right hip to floor. The left leg swings all the way out straight in front of you. So we should have left leg long in front. Let this right knee float up. And then from here, we're taking our left hand behind us, right hand to heart. And for a moment, we're trying to lift our hips off the ground, a slight back bend with that heart focus. Good. When we lower hips back down, let that right knee fall open and just relax directly forward to straight leg. Back and forth, diving into heart space. Spine lengthens back up. Take that left leg, slide it into cross leg. A hand on each knee. We exhale, rounding the spine back. Inhale, start to rotate the ribs through the right and forward. Exhale, circle to left and back. And then reverse, ribs to left to go forward and right to go back. Good. These crossed legs, we slide them in to try to roll up and over back to hands and knees. Back to downward facing dog one more time. Left leg floats up, bend the knees and the toes behind. Good. Pigeon pose, left leg slides through. You want to use bolster, go for it. Up to you. Resting in this nice pigeon. That heart space to dive into. Coming back up, rock on the left hip, swing the right straight leg around. The left knee pops up. We're planting right hand behind us, left hand is at the heart, and we start to lift hips up to that slight back bend. One more inhale. Exhale, soften the hips down, let that left thigh fall open. And just relax forward, diving back into the cave. Spine returns back up. Drag that leg into cross leg, a hand on each knee. Another circle for the rib cage. So start by rounding back, exhale. Inhale, right ribs go forward and around. And then left ribs. Good. Back up to stacked spine. Flip the left knee over to the right. Locate your bolster. We're setting the bolster at the back of the mat. It's long ways. We've got one end touching up kind of by our hip, and the rest of it's just tracing kind of the direction of the mat. Knees tilted off the mat to front door side. And so first thing here, plant the right hand on the bolster. The spine is stacked upright. Left hand grabs either thigh, whatever feels comfortable. With a stacked spine, let yourself take a moment to gaze over the right shoulder as far as you can, moving into the neck. Gaze over left shoulder. And as we go back over right shoulder, let one hand plant on each side of the bolster. Let the sternum twist any amount down. And then bending elbows, we rest down onto the bolster. You choose which ear gets to be down. In one direction, it's more of a neck twist. The other direction, it's more gentle for the neck. So you choose. So restorative twist, we take a couple of breaths. Tuning into that heart space one more time. One last pose here. Sliding the hands under the shoulders, press into them. We'll flip our knees up and over to the other side. So from here, left hand rests on the bolster for a moment. Spine is stacked upright. We're gazing over left shoulder. Over right shoulder. We work our way back to left. One hand travels to each side of bolster, turn the sternum down, bend the elbows to lower. Either ear can be resting. Last huge breath, let it flow in and out. Slide the hands in under shoulders, press into them to rise. Return to face forward. Always know if there's any last poses you need before Shavasana, that's fine, but we have the option for leaving the bolster behind us for Shavasana today. The legs can be crossed, they can be straight, they can be cobbler, whatever you like. But this option of Shavasana would be a heart opener, just relaxing the spine up and back. If that gets a little intense where at any point you would want to move the bolster away and take a different Shavasana variation, that's fine. But this one I like because the whole class, that heart space has been in the cave. Imagine almost like a tube sock. You grab it from the inside and pull it out. Suddenly it becomes the normal sock that's visible. You can kind of hold it, move it around, analyze it. Imagine it's like that heart space energy is now surrounding us like a globe. And as we're here in Shavasana, just resting, we can see all that energy of our highest future self. And we can really gain that clarity. What is it that I can do with my energy this year? Is it giving up something? Is it adding something? Is it creating a new habit? Just let yourself breathe and enjoy getting to be with this heart space all around us. Here we begin to deepen our inhales, our exhales. Perhaps we start this return journey by bringing the fingers to touch onto the heart space for a moment. Perhaps allow some stretches to start to happen to the body. If at any point you prefer to not be on the bolster, you can always just roll off to one side and push it away. Sometimes for the fetal position, that feels really nice. Taking a few breaths there. Even 5 or 6 breaths if you wish. We're in no rush. Before coming up to a comfortable seated place eventually. Here, joining hands together in front of heart one more time. We allow ourselves to tune into any of that wisdom that we're able to gather together during this class together. Maybe wisdom of the goal to set, the thing to let go of, the thing to include more of, the new habit to work on. Whatever it is that our heart is teaching us of what we can do with our energy this coming year, we allow ourselves to use that as inspiration heading forward. And we wrap up the time we shared together with a sound of Om. Deep inhale now. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.